Okay. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, good
Good
morning.
morning, sir.
I hope my voice is audible.
Good morning,
Yeah, good
sir.
morning. Good morning. I hope my voice is audible enough. Right. We will just wait for 2 minutes and then we will begin. Now, today I'm going to discuss directly since I have covered with the background story. So I'm going to go directly into the text and the background of the text itself. Okay. We'll just wait for 1 or 2 minutes for your friends to join. All of them are having exams. Others, do you have any
Yes, sir.
idea?
Yes,
They
yes,
are
sir.
okay, okay, okay. And you, everyone, miss, your exam is complete, right?
No, sir. One more exam left. Honors exam.
Okay, one more paper is left.
Yes, yes. Which is tomorrow.
Okay, which paper it is?
Eighth paper, final semester.
No, no. What is the title of that paper? What is the
Sir,
title of that paper?
pre-independence and post-independence and some poetries are there.
Okay, 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 okay. That means Sarojini Naidu, Kamala Das, and others are there, right?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, good. All the best for your exam for tomorrow. Right?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay. So let's begin our class. So as I was telling you in the last classes, right? ki- The drama has developed till the university bits, and I hope you all remember the history of the development of drama. Now, what happened later on? This is our topic for today's discussion. See, as I have told you all, that Elizabethan age, which began from the year 1558, most probably, right, till the a till the year of her death, that is 1603, right. Now these 40 years probably, right, beginning with 1558 when Queen Elizabeth she came to the power, till her demise and her death in the year 1603, you will find many different kind of dramatists and different kinds of poetry and poets, and all the literary forms are coming up, and there is no question to determine the fact that it was just because of Renaissance that a push was given to all the literary craftsmen, I would say, or all the literary writers, to cover up and to amalgamate all the new features which was prevalent throughout the world and give it a English frame to it. For example, you have what we call sonnets, right? And what is this sonnet? I hope you all know. It came this from a different tradition, right? From Petrarch, from Italian sonnets, and then we have the new form in the English sonnet. And we see beginning with Watt and Surrey, it came to Sydney, then Shakespeare, then we have Milton, Wordsworth, and others to follow. Similarly, is the case with drama, which began with all the religious plays. Then it came to Thomas Norton and Sackville. Then we have Nicholas Udall. Then we have the University Wits, and finally we have Shakespeare. Same is the case with essays. Prose was also coming as a major area, as a major genre for the writers to follow. So many things are going one after another. And the essays means the defense of poetry by Philip Sidney, right, which you are going to study in the next semester. Now, all those began to develop. And that is the reason why Elizabethan age is also called the golden age of English literature. It's a very significant line. I believe you all will note it. That Elizabethan age was also called the golden age of English literature. Now, when I'm saying about a golden age, for example, in history we say Samudragupta age was called the golden age of the Gupta Empire. What do you understand this golden? It is not that everything was covered with gold, literally in the sense. It means that all the genres they were flourishing like anything. Now, when you come to the latter half of the 16th century, I would say, after the death of Queen Elizabeth, okay, James VI, who was the King of Scotland, this is very important. Please remember, James VI, who was the King of Scotland. So there was no one else to follow. Okay, so James VI came to power and he was asked to be the ruler of England. And then we had James the First, whose name was changed from James the Sixth to name to, and his name was changed to James the First, and he was given the power of the English monarch. Now, James in Greek it is called Jacobean, means King of Jacobs. It means Jacobean. Hence, we have a new term for the new age, and the name is Jacobean age, and it began with the year 1603 and it continued till the year 1625, after which Charles I, the son of James I, came to power and became the ruler of the monarch. Right. Now these 20 years, most importantly, right, beginning with 1603 to 1625, this is the topic which we are going to discuss right, today. What happened? What was happening during that time? You know, during the Elizabethan age, during the 16th century, there was a fight between England and Spanish Armada, you know, the Spanish kingdom itself. And this very fight, it gave so much creative points for the authors, for the dramatists, that they all converted those scenarios and converted into different drama, into different literary forms such as drama, epic, and others, poetry. And one of those important things we can find again in the works of Shakespeare or in the works of Ben Jonson. Shakespeare is considered to be the greatest dramatist of the Elizabethan period. Although after the death of Queen Elizabeth, Shakespeare was still writing during in the Jacobean period, during the time of James the First, but still he is considered to be an Elizabethan dramatist, not a Jacobean dramatist. Whereas, on the other hand, you will find that Ben Jonson, okay, he is the greatest dramatist of the Jacobean period. Together with Ben Jonson, you will have so many other authors, other dramatists. For example, Thomas Hayward, you will find. Okay, Middleton, you will find. Marston, you will find. Baker, you will find. So many other dramatists were coming up. But the most influential, Webster, you will find. Okay, but the most influential of them was Ben Jonson. Now, what is there important about Jacobean drama? So let's see what was the difference between Elizabethan drama and the Jacobean drama. This is the first thing you should know, right? See, Elizabethan drama it provided the very base for the Jacobean dramatists to follow. And in the Elizabethan drama, you will find they are celebrating history itself. So history was very important during the Elizabethan time. And the second important thing was romance. The dramas which are written by Shakespeare, they are very prominently figuring the nature and the romantic element in them. For example, As You Like It, if you read or Midsummer's Night Dream or any other play by Shakespeare, you will find so much of love romances there. Even the very play Romeo and Juliet. I hope you all just enjoyed, right, while reading Romeo and Juliet. And you find all those romantic, all those comic episodes, they were there in order because people were also in a very jovial mode during the Elizabethan time because everything was going well and English was most importantly winning against the Spanish Armada. So this was the very crux. of the Elizabethan dramatist. You will find so many literary forms are coming up. For example, in the plays of Marlowe and Milton and Shakespeare, you will find that they are not writing just in simple prose language. They are using a new language that is called blank verse in their drama and poetry. Hero and Leander is an incomplete work. It's an incomplete poem by Christopher Marlowe. Okay, Hero and Leander, published in the year 1598. But you will find now it's a masterpiece of how a poet is using blank verse in order to show a love conflict between hero and the Leander, right? Between a couple, between a bird lover, between a couples. Now, again, you will find in the dramas of Shakespeare also, they are also following the same. He is also following the same blank words technique in order to speak up, in order to share what he had to say about his own characters. But with Jacobean, the thing got changed. Now, what is the new change? See, after the death of Queen Elizabeth, religion got topsy turvy. Why? See, Queen Elizabeth was a Protestant. Okay, and religion, as you know, as I have told you, it's always the base for creating any kind of literature. Even if you want to write something, you will have some religious point of view, and it will get reflected. It will get reflected in your writings. So the same thing happened with the Elizabethan and the Jacobean dramatist. You'll find that in the Elizabethan playwriters, there is not so much of religious element implied in that. But with Jacobean, when James I came to the power, we find so many things are coming up. Particularly why? Because James I was a Catholic, he was not a Protestant. But but there is always a but. But the time he joined the English throne, he changed his religion and he became a Protestant. But his wife was a Catholic. She didn't change her religion. And that is why in the other dramatist, you will find so many things are coming up. And what you find something new, let's come to the Jacobean dramatists. What was the key features of their dramas? Again, this is very important. See here, the flavor of romanticism which you find in the Elizabethan dramas, it got totally lost in the Jacobean dramatists. There was hardly any romantic element you will find in their play. Then what you will find is all about tragedy. See, the loss of Queen Elizabeth was a great sorrow. It was a great sorrow. It was a very sad demise for the Jacobean people. So, in the drama also, you will find is always the image of blood itself. If you have read Macbeth by Shakespeare, you'll find so much of blood imagery is there in his place. I hope all of you have watched the movie Heather at least, which is actually an adaptation of Shakespeare's Hamlet. See, in the movie Heather, you'll find so much of bloodshed and the blood imagery is working over there, right? So this is in this way, blood became a very powerful, a very critical image in the dramas of the Jacobean right. If you take the example of Webster, which is there in your syllabus, and I hope I will go for cross reference the Duchess of Malfi. If you take the example of Duchess of Malfi, so much of blood is there now that you will say one day, sir, it's just rubbish what he has written. You will like that drama, but so much of blood imagery is there now, you won't be able to take up. So on the very first half, you will find that there are writers who are only writing about the tragic part, which they found getting reflected in the society, in the works, and as well as in the life of the common people. And this was the reason, why Shakespeare also wrote the four tragedies, which are considered to be his greatest plays: Hamlet, Macbeth, Othello, and King Lear. Okay, you find so much of tragic and trauma and traumatic element in his plays. So, Jacobean dramas can be divided into two halves. On the first, we have the example of John Webster, right? He's the only dramatist who always write about tragedy. He didn't write about anything. So on the first group, you have Webster and his associates who only used to write about tragedy, bloodshed, trauma, and sadness, about kingship and others, right? On the other hand, you will find there are a group of dramatists who are particularly writing comedies. For example, you have Ben Jonson, a text Volpone, which you all are going to study, right? Volpone, or Thomas Dekker, okay, Thomas Middleton, Thomas Hayward, right? Now, you will find so many of them are there, and who are just enjoying it. Enjoying what? Enjoying writing comedies. But they were not writing comedies for pleasure. They were writing comedies in order to satire something. Now, what they were satiring against? Actually, they all were satiring, okay, against the very society itself. Okay, so this was coming up with Ben Jonson also. Ben Jonson, who is considered to be a classist dramatist, and he was following the model of Seneca, okay, and his plays. And you will find that he is always trying to satire the current scenario, the satire what is there with the society, whatever bad is there with the society. So comedy was used as a form of satire, and how he used it together with other dramatists. Uh, Even the play's name, it was very comic. For example, a woman killed with kindness. See the very title of the play. A woman killed with kindness. Can a woman be killed with kindness? Can you think so? Killing is a crime. Yes. So killing is a crime. So can she be killed with kindness? Now, if you just read the summary, it's available in Wikipedia, right? Now, when you will just go through the summary of that very text, or a woman with chaste morality, and a woman in the cheap side, everything, every humor, I would say, every satire was against the woman. Actually, it's not at present which you found a rape case in Uttar Pradesh as the very element of it. Actually, there also, and in history, throughout the history, you will find that women or girls or ladies, okay, they are the most easiest victim for the men, whether they are the leader of a society or they are the writer of the society. They are using women particularly as the very tool or as the very method for satirizing something, for in order to say something or in order to loot something. This looting is very important. Looting, you say. This loot. Man first loot a woman, then he rapes her. It's a very important line. Man first loot a woman, then he rapes her. So this looting is very important. And this looting is not new. It's not just that a few months earlier, a few days earlier, somebody has looted a woman. It is coming from past, and nobody is trying to change it. So in the Jacobean dramas, you will always find this thing. If you read, I hope you all will enjoy that work, The Duchess of Malfi. where a girl is loving his beloved, where a beloved loves his lover, and the time his brother comes to know that he is his friend and with whom he's fallen in, when with whom her sister has fallen in love, but you will find that there is incest relationship, that brother himself loves her sister and he don't want to get separated from her. As a result, what you will find? As a result, you will find that together with another friend, his brother has killed that person whom her sister loves. And later on, what happens? The sister gets mad and he kills that boy who, together with his brother, has killed her lover, and she has gone mad. And at the end, you will find she has also killed her brother and also committed suicide. So this very image of suicide was very powerful during the Jacobean period. So these are the couple of features you will find again and again coming up. For example, in Macbeth, UK, you will find Lady Macbeth as a character. She is considered the most strongest woman character Shakespeare has ever written and ever made through ever created through his pen. And Lady Macbeth is the one who committed suicide. Again, you will find Othello, who has committed suicide. You will find Ophelia, who has committed suicide. You will find King Lear, who commits suicide. You will find the Duchess of Malfi, who commits suicide. So suicide, you will find every time it was coming up in through the characters. Actually, this was also the time when suicide was becoming more and more popular after, since the society becomes so much poisonous, I would say. So, in order to move away from such a poisonous setting, what the dramatists did, they began to write comedies itself. Okay, but comedy was not just there in order to make people entertained. It was also there to satire the society, those who are forcing people to commit suicide. Epicene is a very famous play, okay, by Ben Jonson. Now, if you read it, you'll find that how a person who is getting too much indulged with the world, he wants to get separated from everything, right? But how he want to get separated? He don't want to commit suicide, but he wants to go to some other land. But when he goes to some other land, in that place somebody chases him. So the time he thinks about suicide, something is happening. Society is doing something for him, either good or bad. So in this way, the people and the ideas were changed by these dramatists. And Ben Jonson plays a very important role in it. How it happened? Now let's see to it. There is a very important image. It is called comedy of humor. And this is a frame which was used particularly by Ben Jonson. It's very important. According to Ben Jonson, okay, who was a classist, he says, our human mind, okay, it is run by four kinds of chemicals, I would say. Okay, the one is yellow bile, the other is black bile, and the other two biles are there, right? Now these are the biles which controls you and make you a human being. Now if a person lacks black bile in his mind, he will become mad. If a person lacks yellow bile, he cannot love, he cannot laugh. So all the biles plays a very important role in order to make you a complete man. And if there is any bile lacking in your blood, in your mind, you will become mad and you will become a subject of satire by the society. And in all the plays of Ben Jonson, you'll find this comedy of humor is playing a very important role. There is a play called The Alchemist, right, published in the year 1607. You find the same images coming again and again in this play, The Alchemist. and there is a play called Every Man in His Humor and Every Man Out of His Humor. See the very title of the plays. Every man in his humor and everyone out of his humor. See, you would say probably, sir, दोनों तो एक ही title लग रहा है. Published in the 1598 and the other in 1599. You see the same title. The very tone of the title is the same, but there is a difference. Every man in humor, every man out of his humor. See the shift Ben Jonson is trying to focus, is trying to implement in his works. So this was the very thing which made Ben Jonson famous. This is what we call the intelligence sign of Ben Jonson. You know, one important thing I would like to add. You know, Ben Jonson is also the only competitor against William Shakespeare during the Elizabethan and the Jacobean period. He was a friend of Shakespeare as well as the enemy of Shakespeare because he was the only competitor of William Shakespeare in terms of drama. Until the 17th century, Ben Jonson is considered to be the greatest dramatist of England, better than Shakespeare himself. It was only in the 18th century when Shakespearean criticism began and later on got furnished with a colonial image when they started to worship Shakespeare and took Shakespeare as the very emblem rather, or very the symbol of masterpiece of drama that Shakespeare become highlighted. But before them, Ben Jonson was considered to be the greatest dramatist of all time. And if you go through his works, you will find, yes, it's true. What Ben Jonson is able to produce, Shakespeare can never do it. And there are multiple reasons of it. And the basic reason was Ben Jonson was a learned man. Shakespeare never went to school, you know. But Ben Jonson, he was a learned man. So you will find that how the things are growing up during the Jacobean period and how Ben Jonson starts and he stands as something different from all the other Jacobean dramatists, and why we are going to discuss his plays, right? Uh, when you are doing your some study right at your home, please at least go through Wikipedia or Britannica.com and read something about Ben Jonson itself or the Jacobean dramatist. You will find so many things are coming up. For example, I would let you a clue. You know, all the people during the Jacobean period, right? Most of them were writing dramas. And there is one person who stands apart from them all. And his name is Thomas Heywood. Please note, okay. Thomas Heywood is the only dramatist who has written more than 200 dramas during the Jacobean age. I repeat, Thomas Heywood, okay, is the only dramatist of the Jacobean period who had written more than 200 dramas under his name. Just think, more than 200 dramas. So what those dramas were all about? They must be nonsense, right? A man cannot write so many dramas together. But just to be on the line, they were just using our same model and they were just falling. And as a result, at the end, we have so much of bogus element in it. And one of those was Thomas Heywood's his 200 dramas. Among them, there are some who are really famous and which are really good. And eventually, for a cross reference, I would refer to them. But this was the case with Thomas Heywood and with Ben Jonson. So, in the next, when we are going to discuss more, we will be discussing the life of Ben Jonson and how Volpone and his other plays makes him as the classist dramatist. Okay, so this is what I have in today's class. And to add more, I want to tell you one thing more that when you are reading the history of English literature, I told you to refer some books. Yes, one among those books is A Short History of English Literature by Andrew Sanders. Okay, all of you got it?
Yeah, sir, can you please write down the comment box?
Okay. Okay, I'm writing here. Say, I can show you the book. Wait, it's there with me. Just wait.
Sir, is this books available on Google?
Yeah, I have it. See, I'm showing it. Oh, I'm not sharing the screen, right? Wait, just see. I'm sharing with you, huh? The book. If you want to buy, you can buy. The price is not used. See, you will get a beautiful color page. You can even take the screenshot, and if you want, then I can share in your through your mail itself if you want it. Okay, this is a book which you should buy, and it will be helpful for you throughout your life. You won't have to buy any other book. This book is enough. Okay, a short Oxford History of English Literature by Andrew Sanders. Okay, and here you will find everything is there. Everything is beginning with Old English period, right? Then you have medieval literature and Renaissance and Reformation. If you are preparing yourself for UGC NET in English, then you must read this book in detail. Okay. Then you have Revolution and Restoration literature, then 18th century literature. Then you have literature of the Romantic period, High Victorian literature, which you are going to study in the next semester, Late Victorian, Edwardian literature, Modernism and its alternative literature. Again, in the next period, next semester, you are going to study. Then post-war and postmodern literature. So it includes everything till 2000. Till 2000, it's there. Everything is there in this book. So if you want, then you can follow it, and it will be helpful throughout your MA and later also, if you are preparing yourself for UGC NET, right? So if you want, then I will share this book with you through your. Okay, you want it. Okay, in that case, I will share the link with you. You can open it and read it. That would be easy for you to take it up. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Other than that, if you want to buy any book, you can buy Walpone, right, by Bain Johnson. This is the book you all should buy. Walpone by Bain Johnson. No? Any question, anyone? Or any doubt you want to clear up?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. Then respond to your roll call. Okay. Divakar Talapatra, Subrajit Datta,
Yes, sir.
Vidyanar Dev is absent. Rupak Nath.
Yes, sir. Present.
Okay. Papia Chaudhary, Tuhin Kanti Debbarma, Khakchungrang Debbarma. Yes,
Sir,
Khaktung.
it's
Say, what's the
sir present.
pronunciation? What
Kakochang
is the
Dharma.
pronunciation? Khakuchang.
Ha ha. Yes, sir.
Okay. Khakuchang. Okay. What is the meaning? Khakuchang?
Sir is kind of peace thing.
Peace.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, I
Sukant
don't know
Naik.
my rule name, rule number.
Rule number. It's
Yeah,
126. It's not rule number. It's ID number.
I, oh,
Uh, Okay. It's 126. Okay.
okay.
Prabal Dwet Debbarma.
Present, sir.
Okay. Sukant Sinha. Prajesh Chakma.
Present, sir.
Okay. Abhinav Chakrabarti. Saurabh Chakrabarti. Vishal De. Common mic. Okay, sir. Okay. I'm giving it. Anisha Sangma. Susmita Dev. Regina Dev Burma.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Dhiman Chakma.
Friends sir.
Okay. Sanjay Tripura. Saptarshi Bhattacharjee. Subit Hirish Das. Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Megha Devnath.
Yes, sir.
Bulti Dev Burma. Nivedita Das. Okay. Thank you, everyone. You all can leave the class. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Subrajit, want to say something?